Hi. Okay, so I know I did one earlier today. My hair's all jacked up. But I don't care because I'm sick and I'm tired and I worked all day. Okay, I loved your video. I loved it. And I wrote notes, because I'm a dork and I have a really short attention span, and there was no way I was going to remember everything that you talked about, and I wanted to make sure that I could respond accordingly. And I didn't realize that I was going to need to have notes when you asked me questions at the end. So I started taking notes because I'm smart. Okay, so ambient noise music. You said you needed more of that on your iPod. My Bloody Valentine. They're awesome. That's what they're all about. I know you know who they are, but I'm just reminding you that they're awesome and you should be listening to them. By the way, you look super skinny and pretty in your video, and I love it. It makes me very happy. I was like, oh, she's so pretty. Look how pretty she is. That ambient low-level lighting is really flattering on you. It's fantastic. I don't have that. I don't have the ambient low-level lighting. I just have a lamp. So, fuck yeah, Ira Glass, for your 30th birthday. Yes, yes, I am so bummed that I'm missing it. Both your birthday and Ira Glass. So bummed. So bummed. Speaking of bingo, and people being into bingo who were not previously into bingo, I've been stalking a certain ex-boyfriend's Twitter, because clearly I'm insane and I like to be miserable. And it appears that he may be playing bingo. He just mentioned it once. I have no idea where he's playing bingo. But you might be seeing him in public, perhaps with New Girl. So, keep an eye out for that. If you crimp your hair, for whatever reason, I don't care. Concert, no concert, don't care. There needs to be pictures. So, that's mandatory if you crimp your hair. And, you should crimp your hair. Just saying. Speaking of hipsters at concerts, my sister, my dear, sweet Katrina Lynn, who I adore and who I've been hanging out with a whole bunch since I've been home, called me a hipster. She didn't realize it was a bad word. She didn't realize that she was saying something offensive. I got very offended. She calls me a lesbian all the time. She says I look like a lesbian all the time. I don't get that offended when she calls me a lesbian because that's not offensive to me. But she called me a hipster and I got really offended. So I'd like to talk about what is a hipster? What qualifies you as a hipster? What is the difference between whatever we are and a hipster? I think, because to me, a hipster is somebody who's basically us, but with skinny jeans and who's insufferable, who's just, you want to punch them in the face for no apparent reason. Like, they just make you want to punch them in the face. And I don't feel like I inspire other people to just want to punch me in the face. Like, I hope not. Yes, I know the Robert Palmer videos. Didn't your dad have some, like, weird thing with wanting to make you and your sisters his backup singers like Robert Palmer? I seem to remember this story. Maybe I'm mixing you up with somebody else, but, like, I could have sworn I had it in my head that your dad was all about that. So, maybe I'm wrong. Let me know if I'm remembering that correctly. You know me, hitting the head a lot. Bad memory. I think you should go to Chromeo. I haven't listened to them. I'm going to look them up as soon as I'm done recording this. My videos are not ever going to be organized. You said that your next video is going to be organized. Mine aren't ever going to be organized. The notes, this is as close to organized as I'm ever going to get, just so you're aware. And yes, I am very busy, but I always have 14 minutes and 8 seconds to stare at you and listen to you talk to me. So, we're solid. Your questions. Okay. How is the weather in Alaska? It is fucking cold for no good reason. It was fine 2 weeks ago, and I'm walking down the road in downtown Anchorage in my little ballet flats and my cuffed jeans and my sweater, and all of a sudden it's snowing. Seriously. Snow. Out of nowhere. It was ridiculous. So it's cold. In answer to your question, I had to scrape my windows on my car the other day. In September. Not okay. Seriously regretting leaving Vegas. Though, admittedly, I'm not a huge fan of 100-degree weather either, so if it's still 100 degrees in Vegas, like, I still maintain we should move to Portland. Or Seattle. Or San Francisco. Somewhere in that general area. How is Alaska responding to Bristol Palin being on Dancing with the Stars? I have no idea because I don't hang out with people who give a shit about Sarah Palin. Everybody I know, kind of hates Sarah Palin. So, and I don't know anybody who watches Dancing with the Stars. I did catch part of it the other day because it was on right before Castle. And we know how I feel about Nathan Fillion. So, and evidently she's doing fairly well, and Sarah Palin was on the show, and everybody was super excited, but nobody gives a shit about Bristol Palin. Lately I am listening to, Amanda Palmer, Dresden Dolls, Florence and the Machine, The Builders and the Butchers, and my friend Ezra made me this mixtape. Or, well, not me. He made a mixtape, and I happen to have it. He didn't make it for me. He made it a long time ago. He's like a DJ, and he remixes stuff, and it's called Jersey Fresh, and it's a bunch of, like, pop songs that are remixed, and I've been listening to that a lot because I started jogging. Yeah, started jogging. So I've been listening to that when I'm jogging. I'm doing the Couch to 5K thing. Not this week. I haven't done it this week because I've been sick, but I'm going to be starting it again here in the next couple of days. I have this, like, one errant hair on my bangs that just keeps escaping my little thing. That looks silly, but whatever. Thing on the side of my head. Anyways, so Amanda Palmer, Dresden Dolls, Florence and the Machine, Builders and the Butchers, Jersey Fresh mixtape, and Lady Gaga. I love Lady Gaga. I've been listening to a lot of hip-hop and pop music lately. I think it's from hanging out in the gay bar, because that's what the gays listen to. So I've been listening to what the gays listen to. I have not listened to the Pop Culture Happy Hour. I saw that Laura mentioned it on her Twitter today. I'm going to look it up and put it on my iPod, maybe to start listening to while I jog when I get tired of the Jersey Fresh mix. And I'm sure that you're right. I'm sure that it's fantastic. Speaking of podcasts, speaking of my friend Ezra and my friend Sarah Jo, who is one of the 4 people that I'm hanging out with in Anchorage, who's super awesome, and you would totally love her, and she would totally fit in with us. Anyways, Sarah Jo and Ezra started a podcast. They started the podcast because Ezra listened to my podcast, which was weird, because he doesn't knit, and there was no reason for him to listen to my podcast, and it was mildly embarrassing because it wasn't a particularly good episode that he listened to. But anyways, and then they decided that they should have a podcast. But Ezra listens to lots of podcasts, so I don't think I was the sole inspiration, but the two seem correlated to me. Anyways, so they started this podcast. It's called SJ and the Bear, and it's hilarious. And their first episode is up on their website, which is sjandthebear.blogspot.com, and you should go look at it. And their next episode, which should be up next week, I'm on, and we talk about nerdy things. So that'll be kind of awesome, and I think it's hilarious. So you should go listen to that. I actually haven't been listening to podcasts hardly at all lately. I just don't have time. So, and now that I got over my whole, like, broken-hearted, weepy, I can't listen to music thing, I've been listening to a lot of music again. Except today, I'm driving home and I was listening to the radio because I have a rental car right now. And so I was listening to the radio while I was going to the grocery store and found myself singing along to a Taylor Swift song and, like, really closely identifying with it. So I feel like I've been listening to too much pop music. When I'm 28 years old and identifying with a Taylor Swift song, like, something has gone awry in my life and I need to reevaluate my priorities. Like, something's wrong. I love your idea about wearing a little bit of makeup and then wearing more makeup. It's kind of like Miss J on Project Runway, how she always wears like a big flower that has 14 things, and then as girls get eliminated, it goes down to none, or she does it the other way where it starts out really small and then goes bigger. I love it. I love it. I want to see full drag makeup in like 12 weeks. But then what are you going to do? Because ideally, we're doing this for the rest of our lives, right? Since we live 3,000 miles apart now, like, we're going to have to do this for the rest of our natural lives. Like, we're going to be 65 years old, and hopefully on YouTube, hopefully by then YouTube has, like, hologram technology or something, though, so we can actually, like, sit in the same room. Like, that would be cool. Anyways, I'm going to stop talking because I'm super tired. It's, like, 11 o'clock at night, and I worked all day. And being a barista is hard. I love it. It's so awesome. My new tea shop job. Seriously, I talk about tea all day. It's like the greatest job ever. Seriously, I have no idea how I got so lucky. It's fantastic. But I'm tired because I stand on my feet all day and I have to be perky. Good morning. What can I make for you? Oh, you know what's fantastic? Is the sencha green tea. It's full of antioxidants. It's great for you. I love tea. I love tea. I love people who drink tea. I'm so tired of being perky. And FYI, I hate green tea. I hate all green tea. It tastes like dirt to me. So that whole thing that I just did, a total lie. It tastes like dirt. It is full of antioxidants. It's really good for you. It tastes like dirt. Unless it's mixed like half and half with pomegranate juice, I'm not going to drink it. Just by the way. So, I'm going to run out of time here in a minute, but I wanted to ask you a question. Other than the weather, I don't want to ask you about the weather because I know it's hot. Well, actually, I really only have one question. My main question is, when are you going to come visit me? Because you have a real job, and so you can afford to do things like that. And I miss you, and I really want you to come to Alaska. But probably not until, like, May or June of next year, because you will be miserable here any time before then, because it's already way too cold. Though, I do think that you would like the snow for, like, a minute. And it would be kind of awesome to show you the snow. And Anchorage is so pretty when it snows. I'm so looking forward to the snow. Even though it's super cold already and I'm beginning to regret my decision to come home, I am really looking forward to the snow because the snow is really pretty and this town is gorgeous when it snows. Oh, I wanted to tell you about a boy situation. I told you about it a little bit earlier, but I kind of wanted to elaborate on it because more stuff happened, but I think that might be a private Danny Chena conversation. So, sometime soon we'll have that. But I heart you. I love you. I'm going to try to come visit soon. And in the meantime, we should get our books soon, and we'll start our read-along. And in the meantime, tell me what you're reading right now. And then the next time I do a video, I'll tell you what I'm reading, because I'm reading like 4 books. So, heart you. Tell Laura I love her too.